Hey everyone, it's Aubrey, recovering perfectionist, queen of distraction, and over the course of the last few weeks as I've really started to mentally prepare for the approaching holiday season, I've been thinking a lot about how easy it is for me to accidentally go overboard and how this year I am absolutely not going to let that happen. Now, I'm not talking about just the fact that I am a wannabe minimalist and, less is merrier. I'm talking about the fact that the holidays can really just suck the life out of us financially before we even realize that it's happening. And maybe everything that I'm about to talk about is just common sense, or maybe you're very wealthy and you can afford to buy whatever the heck you want for the holidays. But for those of us who aren't, let's chat about the things that have been on my mind as I prepare myself to save as much as possible and spend as little as I can this holiday season. Also, I've got some stuff that I need to do, so you're tagging along for chores. Let's go. Okay, so, maybe this goes without saying, but think about what you need. Make yourself a list. Start making yourself a list for, not only the people that you have intentions of buying things for, but make a list of things that you want yourself. And I'm using the word need very loosely because I know that as we go into this time of year, the things that we need, we really don't. Like the majority of the things that we end up getting for people or that people get for us, we could more than likely end up living without, right? But this is also a really great time of year for sales. And if you're somebody like me who kind of desperately needs a new mattress, it doesn't hurt to acknowledge the fact that you might be able to actually get a really good deal on something that you are genuinely in need of versus, another time of the year. My back hurts trying to hunch over, get this laundry out and talk at the same time. Ugh. So the moral of the story there, start thinking about what you need and make a list. So next, and this I think might be the most important thing, you stick to your list. When you go out, you stick to that list and you do not stray. Unless you're 100% willing to commit to, crossing something off your list in place of something else that you might find at the store. I think it is just really important to have a conversation with yourself in advance. You are not straying from the path. There are just so many deals, especially if you go out on Black Friday, the stocking stuffers, if you will, just the little things here and there that add up so very quickly. And the thing I think that drives me nuts about all that little stuff is we know that more often than not, these are the things that aren't even going to last a full year. And I'm not sitting here saying that there's anything, necessarily wrong with stocking stuffers. It's just the things that you're buying because you had absolutely no intention on buying them, but they're just there. And next thing you know, they're in your cart. And next thing you know, they're in your stocking. And the next thing you know, they're in the landfill. It's just those things that I really have a problem with. And yes, I myself have fallen victim to those little things time and time again. But this year I am trying to be very diligent and thoughtful about the little things that actually come into my house. Just because it's cheap, it doesn't mean it's worth bringing into your home. Just because it doesn't cost a lot doesn't mean it doesn't cost something down the road. So what I'm trying to say is if you are able to stick to your list and actually stick to your list, you are going to be less likely to fall victim to those little impulse buys that, like I said, they add up really quick. And if we are able to avoid those, we are just, we're saving the planet one little piece of plastic crap at a time. And that's a beautiful thing. We're being green, sticking to our lists. Okay, so number 3, I think that one of the most important things that you can keep in mind when you go to the store is the stores are trying to trick you. 100%, they're trying to trick you into buying stuff. Once upon a time, I could have gone into Target and I could have spent easily $100 when I had gone in there with the intent of buying, 2 or 3 things. And this wasn't stuff that was on my list. This wasn't stuff that I needed. This was just, $100 of random miscellaneous things that, Target told me that I needed. You remember those memes where it's I don't tell Target what I need, Target tells me what I need. And I think that if you're able to get in the mindset of when you go into the store, it is you versus the company's marketing team, you will win every time. And let me tell you, there is just nothing more powerful than going to the store and, yes, acknowledging that you may be tempted by something, but, maybe you pick it up, but you don't put it in your basket. It doesn't come home with you. And just having more and more trips like that where you don't fall victim to, oh, well, like, this is cute, this would be fun, blah, blah, blah. You know, the moments where we validate bringing something home with us. And I have had so many really positive trips like that to the store recently. And I couldn't even think of one specific thing off the top of my head where I look back and regret not buying it. But could I run off a list of, several things that I've purchased in the past that I do regret buying? Oh, you bet I could. You bet I could do that very easily. And a lot of those items are items that I have purchased around this time of year, around Black Friday, during the holiday season, things that I have made the choice to bring into my home or to gift to other people that, it wasn't called for, just wasn't called for. And that's just one of those things that you have to remember, is that the stores are literally trying to trick you with the placement and the advertising and just the little things here and there, like, oh, last minute deals, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you don't need it. It's okay. They're trying to bamboozle you into buying the nonsense. It's literally their job. It's literally their job to trick us. And that's just getting into that mindset of being aware of that is like, there's nothing more empowering. And that's what I have to say about that. Alrighty, so next, make sure that you're comparing online prices. And now maybe this is a no-brainer, but I'm not just talking about like looking at the online price when you're at home. I'm talking about like when you're in the store, and if you're someone like me, this is probably overwhelming, and use your discretion and decide what's worth it or not, like especially if you're in a busy store and you're just doing like literally everything you can to get the heck out. This might not be something that you want to do, but if you're able to just stop, take a moment, hop on your phone and compare online prices. And I'm not just talking about like other stores, I'm also talking about like literally a store that you're at. Fun fact, when you go to checkout, you can price match things. A lot of times things are a lower price online than they are in store. I've literally been at checkout and I've had a cashier price match something for me. Like my son was buying a toy and it was a lower price online than it was in the store. And I didn't even have to ask her to do it. But if you know that it's a lower price, you can ask them to price match it for you. I have a feeling that on Black Friday, they're probably just not going to be doing that out of the kindness of their heart, because it's going to be crazy. Like, you're going to have to ask for them to do that. And obviously if you can get whatever it is at the store that you're already at, awesome. But also take the time, do a Google search in Google Shopping for whatever item it is that you're purchasing, and you will be able to, see that item, but then you'll be able to find out what price it's going for at other stores. And if it's worth it, you pop into whatever store. Who knows? Maybe it's already somewhere that you have intentions of going. I don't know. But a lot of times, like, I'm willing to run in somewhere if it's going to save me $10 or $15 on something. And also bonus points if I just end up getting it online and I don't have to go anywhere at all, because that's how I prefer to shop, if I'm completely honest. The less public interaction I have, the better. So next thing, don't forget about thrift stores. I think a lot of times thrift stores can get overlooked, especially when it comes to giving gifts. Like, we don't have a problem going out and buying a used pot for our own kitchen, but it would seem so taboo to go do that for somebody else. But I think that, a lot of times it's just so easy for us to get blindsided by all the advertising from larger companies that we sometimes forget that, the thrift stores do exist. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting something secondhand from a thrift store for a gift. And there are so many times where you can go to a thrift store and end up finding something that's brand new or something that still has the tags on it. And I think that even things that aren't, brand spanking new out of the box, you can present them in a really nice way that nobody's going to think twice about whether or not you got whatever it is at the Goodwill or Desert Industries or your thrift store of choice. One thing that I desperately want to do is I want to have a white elephant party, but it's going to be like just thrifted items only. And then not just physical thrift stores, but if you're like me and you'd just rather not go to the places, which I do like going to a thrift store. I think I'd actually rather go to a thrift store than a regular store. But anyway, don't forget about online secondhand shopping opportunities like, I guess Facebook Marketplace. But then also places like Mercari. There's actually a set of books that I ended up being able to get for my son. It was 4 out of the 5 Judy Blume books in the Fudge series that I wanted to get for him, and I was able to get the 4 missing books that we needed. We have 1, but we don't have the other 4, and I was able to get those for only $11 off of Mercari. And I actually ended up being able to pay for those with a credit from a coat that I had sold. So that was no money out of my pocket, which is, you know, obviously awesome. But there are just so many great secondhand websites out there. ThredUp for secondhand clothes, a lot of things, again, have the tags on them. Poshmark, Mercari, like I said. I mean, do people still eBay? I don't know. But there are just so many great ways to get things at, you know, a more affordable price. And then, you know, we're keeping things out of the landfill, which, you know, you're welcome, planet. We're doing what we can, and we can do what we can during the holiday season as well. Consider using cashback websites like Rakuten when shopping online. I've been using Rakuten for years, and I've probably gotten hundreds of dollars in cashback over the course of the years that I've been using it. Sometimes my checks are as little as 10. I think once I got a check for like $70. Obviously, it's one of those, come on and get in the coop. Come on, it's fine. No, you're not going out. Everybody's coming in. No, baby. We're not going out. She's coming in. So obviously with cashback sites, it's like the more you spend, the more you get kind of situation. So obviously, you know, keep that in mind. We're not just spending just to get cash back, because that doesn't make sense. All right, you're all in. Hold on. But with that being said, if you are going to be spending money, if you're going to be shopping online anyway, you might as well get some form of cash back. And I don't care how small the check is, I'm never going to be turning down any cash sent my way. Check, rather. Anybody else lay an egg? Just one? Okay, now here's a last bonus thought, if you will. Don't buy anything, or buy less. And just because we're trying to save money doesn't mean that we're buying anything that's low quality or like fast fashion-y kind of things. Talk to your family about simplifying things. A friend and I who used to do, like, we'd do a Friendsmas together. We'd buy a gift for each other, and then we'd buy a gift for each of our kids. We decided that this year we're just not doing that, and we probably won't continuing into the future. My husband and I, along with my sister-in-law, we also had a conversation with like the grandparents and the great-grandparents this year that we're not going to be buying for anybody other than the kids this year. Buying for every single person just isn't practical for us at this moment in time. And so instead, we're going to do like a draw a person, you know, out of a hat kind of deal. And then that one person you're buying a gift for, and then we might do some kind of white elephant situation. But obviously simplifying like that can really add up over the course of the holiday season. Also, bonus, kind of like a very random thought, but if you do most of your shopping online, like I try to and like to do, if you have a Costco run that you need to do, I have a friend who used to work at Costco, and she said that Black Friday is hands down like the slowest day at Costco throughout the entire year. So get your Costco run done on Black Friday in peace. And now that I think about it, Black Friday is probably also going to be like one of the best days to go to thrift stores, because basically 90% of the population is at like Target or Walmart, right? Yeah, dang it, I forgot to put that other blanket on. Well, that's that. Those are the thoughts that I've had churning around in my head regarding this upcoming season of spending. I mean, season of giving. I hope you found something in this video that was helpful, and if you would like to hang out with me as we dive further into the holiday season, feel free to subscribe. There will definitely be some decluttering and decorating in the near future, and hopefully some creating as well. And if you do end up signing up for Rakuten, please use my link in the description. It's not sponsored or anything, but I do get referral cash back, which is, you know, helpful this time of year. And I'm not even talking about the fact that it's the holiday season. I'm talking about the fact that berries are out of season and I can't just send my kids out in the backyard to forage. So the berry budget's high this time of year. But that aside, that's all for real. Thank you so much for taking a chunk out of your day to hang out with me. I hope to see you in the next one. As always, I love you, have fun, and be kind.